Alright, kia ora team, and welcome to episode 42 of Yarns with Beef and Matt, brought to you by Alice Katie and Frog Grips. I'm Beef.
I'm Matt.
Joining us today, he is a legend in the sport. He's the ex-owner of CrossFit Gold Coast, where we are right now. He's the CrossFit Games commentator, among many other accolades. He's rookie, also known as Jeremy Austin. How are you, bro?
I'm actually a little bit nervous, tired. Lead into Torian this weekend's taken its toll a little bit, so still got a couple of days of prep before we get into it. So things are going okay, but yeah, a bit more sleep would be handy.
Yeah, shit, I bet. Leading into Torian, how far out do you guys prep on the media side?
I'm probably about 5-6 weeks, so we just go on the Open and see who qualifies through the Open, and then we go through the quarters, and then we've got an idea of who's going to qualify sort of in that top section of quarters.
Yeah.
And then it's not until the team or individual allocations come out that we sort of work out exactly who's in, and then those last little stragglers that get that last minute invite.
Yeah.
So it's it's about a 5-week process, and it's like a lot of work for 3 days, but it's better to know than not know.
Yeah, 100%. Did you guys, because like the build up as well, and then you've got like all the mishap with the box step ups as well, so like you sort of like going back over work, you're like, oh shit, well they're gone now,
Well, I got an email from Boz overnight.
Yeah.
Throughout to the entire group, a confidential email that went out that was going, okay, guys, we're going to focus on for this weekend is this, and this. Changes are going to be this type stuff. So we've got some things that we now can work from, but obviously lessons were learnt last week, and it's always a work in progress, but always spanner in the works, which is good.
Yeah, wouldn't be CrossFit without that. But before we get too in depth into the sort of stuff you're doing today, let's throw it back to the young Jeremy Austin. Where did he grow up? What was he doing?
Well, it's funny that it's like episode 42 and you've like nailed my age on the head.
Yeah, we did that on purpose.
The grey hair gives me away, but way back. So Canberra boy.
Nice.
I grew up in Canberra, sort of schooling, all that sort of stuff, and it was pretty quiet sort of upbringing. Parents didn't have a lot of money, so we sort of started off as like really simple life, and things were going okay. I got to 15, Dad passed away from a heart attack, which wasn't ideal. Had pancreatic cancer the year before, so we went through that whole realm, and we were expecting him to go then, but he got over that and then has a heart attack, drops dead a year later. So it was it was a tough upbringing after that, because it was sort of mum's sort of sitting there with a 17, 15, 11-year-old going, ugh, what do I do type thing. So yeah, things weren't like ideal, but we made the most of it, and we got on with it.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, school-wise, moved to Morris, Canberra in year 11. So I went to year 10, co-ed school, and then moved over to Morris, and that's when I got introduced to rugby union. Yep. And I went, oh, cool, what's this game? At 16 years of age. Okay. And I didn't realise how big a part of my life it would turn out to be. So it's been pretty massive since then, but it was interesting to go to a school and go, oh, okay, here's something new.
Yeah. 16's quite like a late introduction, especially like Australia and New Zealand, like. Yeah, for rugby itself.
Normally it's 16 days. And you've got a ball in your hand. And it's just like, no. But yeah, it was good that I didn't have that background in rugby union, because I didn't obviously make any of the junior sides or representative sides. And then I played a lot of soccer and basketball growing up.
Right.
So the hand-eye coordination, all that stuff was there. And then it was like, okay, we're going to do this. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, good stuff, man. You weren't just given a Wallabies jersey from the get-go.
Oh, that would have been nice. I was okay, but I just wasn't at that level. So I played with a lot of absolute superstars, like sharing the field with George Gregan and Joe Roff and Rod Kafer and Steve Larkham.
Yeah.
Like in the same team was just ridiculous. But they obviously went on and did some great stuff.
Oh, shit.
But I just didn't have enough to take me to that next level. So playing for the Brumbies was cool, playing for the Reds was cool, but it was just like that next step that was just a little bit too far. But
what year were you playing for the Reds and Brumbies?
The Brumbies was 96, 97.
Yeah.
Toured England with the Brumbies, which was like the best tour ever.
Yeah.
And then moved up to the Gold Coast in 99, ended up playing for the Reds in 2002.
Yeah. Oh, far out, man.
Crazy. I was born in 97.
Was this episode 42?
Yeah. I was, what was I doing in 97? Living in England, I know that much. I wasn't playing rugby.
Okay.
Oh, no, very good. So after school, Before you sort of got into that high level rugby stuff, what were you doing? University or anything like that? Get a trade?
Well, weird story. I repeated year 12 because I failed year 12 badly.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously, going through all the stuff with dad, school wasn't a
Yeah,
priority.
yeah, right, yeah.
Failed that, and then the school said, look, we'll give you an opportunity to do year 13, which is not like normally the case. But you got to go back and you punch in year 11, year 12 into 1 year, and if you mess it up, like that is it.
You're done.
So, and then the first 15 coach said, if you don't get your grades to a certain level, you're not in my team.
Oh, really?
So I
Yeah.
had this sort of double whammy. So I got in and smashed it out, and
Yeah.
eventually like played first 15 that year, and then got into university as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, went to uni next year, dropped out 3 months later.
Oh, sweet.
Because I did a computer programming degree, and it was just like way over my head. And I was
Yeah.
like, anyway. So I went off panel beating and spray painting, and then got into hospitality, and then got into poker machines.
Oh, right.
It
So
was
full spread.
really good. I was like, I went
Full
from
U-turn.
this- massive U-turn. It was just like, I'm going this way. I went, oh, hang on a minute. No, we're going this way. But
Yeah.
playing rugby at the same time, so it was weird. Yeah.
So was that sort of like, were you just trying to keep your head above water so you could play code?
I was just trying to find out what I wanted to do in life. I found out late in life what the passion was, which is obviously media.
Yeah.
And I wish I had have found it like way back in the day. So
Right,
it's
yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it's just a shame that it took so long. But
Yeah.
Before we get onto the media, obviously you had a big part to play in where we are right now. Where did you find CrossFit on your journey?
CrossFit 2007, my cousin messaged me one day and said, I found this stuff online. It's really cool. I went, okay, whatever. That's like, I think when the internet started, it was, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I went down to Canberra for Christmas, and so I did a session. It was called Angie, and I went, oh, okay, this is cool. Okay,
Yeah.
we're not going to do 100 reps of everything. We're going to do 10 sets of 10, break it all up, and you're going to scale it. And it's full-on scale mode back then. And I went, okay, cool. 15 minutes later, I went, oh yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Couldn't walk for about a month. And I went, righto, you've got my attention. What is this thing? And that was it. And then we just followed the .com programming because that's all there was back then.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we followed that, and there was like probably 50 or 60 people that would consistently post their times and whatever on the website every day.
Yeah.
So I would post my times up on the website, and it was like this big community that you had, but it was worldwide because no one knew what CrossFit was. So it was pretty exciting. And Chris Spieler back in the day, for those who know Chris Spieler, he'd be posting his times for the day, and it's just like you compare to him, and you just go, "Ooh."
Yeah.
It's a little bit humbling, but
Yeah.
it was great to have that little sort of community, and we ended up having a good group of people. There's about 6 or 7 of us that actually posted every single day, and the workout would come out at night time in the States and about lunchtime here, so I would see it and then bolt to the garage and get it done
Straight in.
straight away,
Right.
post my time, be one of the first to post my time, and then everyone try and chase my time down, and that sort of thing. So yeah, got a little bit competitive that way, but it was like really, really good community and no egos at all back then. It was just like, let's come and just do stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was easy.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd be awesome for comparison, but also when did it start getting competitive, or not really? Everyone's just like, oh, good on you.
No, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
pat on the back. Yeah, great stuff.
Okay.
I'd love to go back and see the actual comments back in the day, and then all of a sudden the posts got to about 1,000 and things started to get a little bit of control and more people knew about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they just decided one day to shut the whole website down, and
Probably crashing the servers.
well, that's it, probably did, yeah. So then they just, they got away from all of that sort of stuff, which was a shame, but it just got too big too quick.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, trying to do that today would be pretty fucking hectic, you know?
you wouldn't do it. It'd just be, managing that would be way too hard.
So when you're getting into CrossFit 2007, when does sort of like owning the affiliate, or did you own it? Did you start it? How did this come about?
The thing was, I was doing it in my garage, and then I had a guy that I knew, Clayton Schultz, and I said, mate, come around and we'll do some sessions. So he came around, do something, and then the next bloke came around, and my accountant came around, and who's still my accountant these days. My vet, he came as well, so he's still my vet these days. So we had all these people coming in, and it was just really cool. And then so we had like 16 people turn up one day, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute. The world of the garage gym is now over. I have to go and now be a business owner.
Yeah.
But I was travelling to Brisbane 2-3 times a week to go and see Matt Swift up at CrossFit Brisbane to train at a CrossFit gym. Because that's the only one that was around at the time, or close to here anyway. So it was, getting that name of CrossFit Gold Coast, there was a guy, a South African guy, who actually had the name.
Oh, okay.
So like back 2007 was like I was messaging him and emailing him and go, hey, can I have this business name? And he goes, yeah, look, I don't want it, I don't need it, whatever, here. And just gave it to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thank you.
Cheers, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, little did I know, like 16 years on, yeah, here we are, and CrossFit's exploded. But that sort of garage gym to sort of that first facility, 2008, 2009, yeah, it was a slow growth, but it was just like you knew your garage was full. So it's like, okay, we got to move to a bigger space.
It became a capacity problem.
It did, and we went from that first facility to the next door where we were, just down the road from where we are now. And we were there for 12 years, which was awesome. And then the landlord decided one day that post-COVID, he could make way more money from an online business than he could from a CrossFit gym. So he gave me a month and said, see you later. So we closed for 5 months.
Yeah.
And then Drew Griffith, who owned CrossFit Broadbeach, the second CrossFit gym here, he had this facility. And he said, I've had a gutful, I'm done. I said, well, I'll take over your lease and I'll bring everything here. But it had been 5 months, so everyone had sort of scattered and whatever. So I had to sort of start from scratch. So we went bigger, and then we just went, you know what, let's go smaller, let's go more niche.
Yeah.
Better coaching, more personal service, and here we are. So
Nice. Yeah, it's a good facility, like just walking around. I like this size of facility as well. It's real similar to the one I train at back home. It's
bigger's not always better.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some really good big ones out there.
There
really
is.
Don't get me wrong, but this is like the real grassroots level. Like, you guarantee that everyone knows everyone's name.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, it's amazing. How good.
100%.
So, then, where does media come into the picture?
Well, back in the day was when I just competed at regionals, and then I did some coaching at regionals, and then it was sort of like they had the broadcast at regionals in 2013, but they had no commentary.
Right.
So Rory McKernan, one of the the OGs of the media department.
He's at Mayhem now, isn't he?
And CrossFit, media director at Mayhem now. I contacted him because they put an ad out on Facebook going, are you interested in broadcasting our events worldwide? I was like, oh. So I rang Rory and said, what's going on? And he said, apply, like seriously apply. Yeah. So I applied, I'm keen, cool. They sent me an email and they gave me a 7-minute clip of the 2010 games. They said, commentate it, send it back. Right. And I knew a guy at the radio station here who was one of my old clients. He's a client still, he just doesn't train very often. So he's done radio for like 40 years. So he said, come into the studio, we'll record like 30-second snippets, and then I'll just sort of sew it together and make it sound like amazing. Yeah. So I did this commentary, and he's put it together, and I just went, oh, wow, okay. I sent it in, and they got back to me within the hour and went, you got the job. Yeah. I went, oh, awesome. 2014, here we go. Let's go down to regionals at Wollongong, and here we go. And then I went down there and I went, oh shit, how do you do this? Yeah. I had no idea what I was doing.
I have to do it live.
But I knew like everybody. I knew like males, females, teams, like what gym they trained at, like what their partner's name was, dog's name, like didn't matter. I knew everything about everybody because I knew everybody. Yeah, yeah. And everyone thought I did all this research, and I did none that year. None. Yeah. Like it was easy. It was just like the easiest regional I did because it was, it was second nature. So yeah, I moved into the CrossFit sort of media team in 2014, and then went to the games that year as well, and then sort of have just chugged along and done the regional now, semi-finals, games every year. So if I go back to the games this year, it'll be 10 years, which will be massive. Yeah. But I got into radio sort of around the same sort of time. So I spent a bit of time in radio as well, and then now doing live TV for rugby union on Stan Sport over here. So there's doors have just opened up massively. So I'm very, very fortunate. But I'm out of the radio game now, but I'd much rather live TV than radio.
Yeah, I mean, well, your voice is pretty much synonymous now, especially in Oceania. Like, I mean, it's hard not to recognise your voice when you're doing it. So from 2014 to now 2024, that's 10 years.
I know. Long time.
What I've asked a few people this, but what have you seen, like, just in CrossFit itself? Like, how have you seen the growth or the up and downness of up and down this year. That's a word. Of the sport.
It is now.
Yeah, sorry. In the last 10 years, because you get, I'd arguably say from 2014 to 2018 was just like the golden years, but then it's like there was a dip, and it seems to be now on the rise. Yeah, what are your thoughts in the last 10 years of the sport?
What's funny, one of the guys that's competing this weekend at Torian, his last regional was 2014.
Oh, really?
He's had a 10-year break. Nick Fuentes from Sydney.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay.
So his last regional was 2014.
Yep.
And I was talking to him the other day, and I said, mate, what have you done in the meantime? And he goes, nothing. I've just been away doing stuff and getting busy, and I've just decided to have a crack, and I got in. I was just like, have a 10-year break. So like, it's funny that this year at Torian, there's 15 individuals that competed in 2014 that are in the field this year round.
Yeah, wow.
Which is ridiculous. Like Rob Forte is competing.
Yeah.
You've got that caliber of athlete, and like Alethea Boone and all these great athletes coming back. And it's so that was sort of like the golden era back then, when people sort of just got out of that sort of amateur type thing and got into regionals. So we go through that progression of 16, 17, 18. I think 18, a lot of the broadcast team at the games for 18 said like 2018 was like up there. 2017, 2018 was like the pinnacle of where the sport could get to. And then obviously COVID threw a massive spanner in the works with that. Putting everything online was tough. But I think we're sort of slowly getting that way back. Media-wise, broadcast-wise, we're sort of dipping a little, I think, with scope of what we can do. Like, obviously, broadcast costs a lot of money. So and finding that money from people, it's just really tough. So the more we can do, the better. That's why we're broadcasting every single minute of Torian. Yeah. Obviously, people get better. I'm excited to see what happens with the snatch ladder. From 2016, I think the time, we've already seen the times, like Cara does the fastest time in the world. Yeah. And that gets beaten like in Heat 2 in Europe. And it's just okay. So when we've got some heavy hitters coming this weekend, I think we're going to see some records broken. But I think the progression of the sport is, like back when I started to what they're doing now, it's just, I don't know, you probably wouldn't remember, on the website for CrossFit.com, they had a muscle up leaderboard. If you got one muscle up, you got your name on the board. I was in the top 100 on this web page in the world. 100 in the world. I got my name on there. You have to send a video in, everything, so to tick it off. And now everyone's doing 15 unbroken in the last event this weekend. So it's just like, so progression's been great. So,
100%.
Where's it going? I don't know, but people are just going to get better. People are going to get stronger, fitter, faster. So who knows?
Yeah, like we caught up with Jay on Monday, and I like that he said this year's workouts are
Who?
Jay Crouch.
Who's that?
I think he's
right back at you, Jay boy.
I think he's been
He was saying he
You
likes
leave Bailey alone.
looking out for the Kiwis. But he was saying he loves that it's sort of going back to OG CrossFit this year. Though obviously the last few years he sort of said it was kind of circusy sort of movements, and he likes that it's been taken back to a real good spectator sport, good for the viewers. But to go back to something you said before, the research, how deep are you diving into these athletes so that you're up to date with, like, are you pinning down, their strengths and what you expect them to go out and do on the floor? Like, how much research are you doing prior to an event?
Say you're tuning into the broadcast for the first time. Tell me what you want to see on a broadcast. What do you want to know about someone that's on the floor, say, lifting a barbell, doing a snatch? What do you want to know?
probably the current 1RMs or something like that. And just
but what else?
Why are you putting us on the spot?
Yeah.
Because
this is your podcast here. Shit.
I mean, their name would be good.
So obviously, but like you learn the basics. Okay, you know their name, you know where they're from. Okay, you know their partner's name or the kid's names or their dog's name or all that sort of stuff's relevant for me because it humanises them as a person, not just as this person doing CrossFit. I don't want to make it just CrossFit. I want to personalise them. So if you're tuning in for the first time, you don't know anything about CrossFit. Hey, this person's a farmer that gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning to milk cows and in the spare time does an hour workout a day. And people go, oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like just stuff like that. So
becomes relatable.
If I can humanise those people to a generic viewer, like obviously people tuning in are going to be CrossFit frothers. They're going to love it. I know a lot of people in the States are going to be tuning in because, especially day one, because they haven't had day one yet anywhere. Yeah. But they want to know interesting facts about people. Like you talk all day long about what movements they do and what reps they do and weight and like that's great, but it doesn't make them who they are.
Yeah.
All. So I just try and get that human factor in as much as possible. So I dig in, and when you find out someone's dog's name or whatever it is, it's interesting stuff to find out what sort of person they are outside of the gym as well as inside the gym.
So to be honest, that's not the response I thought we were going to get, and I actually love, because it's very in line with what we're doing with this. It's like, yep, these guys are amazing athletes, but who are you? And even yourself, like you've got an amazing career. We could talk about that for 6 hours, but taking it back to, who are you growing up? Where, it's very much what we want to do. We want to humanize these people and get to know them on a level deeper than how much you can bench. Yeah, so... No, I like that. I love that.
Having said that, what's your 1 RM bench press?
Back in the day.
The back in my day.
Not as good as it should be right now.
Oh, no, very good.
It's funny you should mention that. I'm doing bench today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Okay, we've trained this morning.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm done training. Like this, I think today's my last. Oh, no, I've got the affiliate workout on Saturday.
Okay.
I hope that's...
I'm not an affiliate anymore. Can't do it. There we go.
You take my spot,
No, I'll be doing plenty of exercise.
Oh, I did this one on Monday, and I still can barely walk. It was at CrossFit Westgate in Melbourne, and it was on the proven track, and it was like lunges and air squats back to back, and I was, still cannot walk.
Don't need that.
You don't need that in my life. I'm on holiday.
Never been humbled so much by air squats.
Yeah, the air squats. I was like, wow, this is actually very difficult.
Yeah. Well, getting back to your point of knowing people, I try my best to know someone or know 1 or 2 things about that person with just once their face or they come on screen and the camera's got them on screen, I can rattle off top of my head something about them, straight away without even looking at any notes. So that's my jam. That's why I study so hard for all this sort of stuff. So I've got in-depth notes on everybody and photos, and so you'll find over the weekend, every team athlete will be named first name, surname. Like phonetics is a big one. Yeah. So I contact them, and there's some really weird, like Hiko's out there with a corker, and then I nailed his name last year, and the family actually messaged me and said thank you.
Yes.
Makaidi's another one who's coming back over. He's another 2014 athlete. Yeah. But again, just trying to nail those phonetics for people and get it right. Yeah. I was trying to explain to one of the females, I won't mention her name because she was the last athlete to get back to me after sending out a billion messages, and she just read the message and just, I'm too busy. Like, it's your first time at Torian, like, I want to talk about you. I have to actually contact her gym and say, how do I pronounce her first name? Like, because I want to nail down that stuff. So it's just those little things that mean a lot to their family who are watching, but not so much to just your general CrossFitter who probably wouldn't even notice or care. Yeah. But the people who do care, that are sitting there, like the grandmothers and grandfathers who are watching their siblings and grand siblings are sitting there going, oh wow, this is actually amazing.
You say that we were having lunch today with Ben Fowler's family. Oh,
great family.
And they brought up the fact that they glazed over Ben, who come fourth. This was it in Sean Woodland's?
Every single podcast.
You just don't.
No one's talking about Ben.
Every single one. Because he's been out of the limelight a little bit. Yeah. No one's talking about him.
But like them as a family, they notice that and they go, well, why is Zach Thomas getting... And like Zach Thomas is an amazing athlete, but they're going, Ben qualified higher, wasn't he getting... So like credit to you for doing those little things.
But the good news is for the Fowler family, when I'm broadcasting from Pat Rafter, like here is the entire Fowler family, and they've been there for the last 3 years. And Linda messaged me the other day. She goes, we'll be behind you again. So they sit there the entire time, and then I'll just lean over and say, hey Ben, how was event 1? Yeah. Give me some tidbits. So they'll actually give me some really good information on fatigue and how they're traveling, like personally, so I can actually relate that. So it's actually really good that they're up there. But look out.
Linda has said this morning that she's going to try to be more reserved this weekend, but no one believes her.
I don't know. You can actually hear her on the broadcast because she's sitting right there. So it's like, come on, man, go. Yeah. Anyway,
that's what she's saying. She's like, I'm going to be quiet. I don't need to be on the broadcast.
What colour's the hair this year?
It's pink.
It's pink again. Okay, good.
Pink. She's just had it done as well, by the looks of it. Yeah, looked quite good this morning.
You're
Linda.
fresh.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Going back to that, I think you doing that and Torian put on such a good event, it definitely helps them stand out because they do stand out. Everyone knows that Torian is the best semi-final out there. You looking at how the Far East Throwdown was done. Was that the one Asian one?
Yep.
That was good. Yeah. How does that sit? Do you try to, like, because obviously there's no comparison. Torian is just a lot better than that, but does that sort of irk you in a way that, like, why aren't CrossFit doing more to help them out as well?
Or, I know CrossFit are.
Yeah.
I spoke to Wu, who's the event coordinator for Far East.
Right, yep.
And also Tomo over at South Africa. So I've been talking to those guys a fair bit about trying to improve their product.
Right, yeah.
So I'm talking to Wu about potentially going up and doing
Oh, okay.
the Far East
Yeah,
this year. The budget wasn't there to get me there this year. Timing was a little bit tight, so they just said we just can't do it this year. But using the same feed, but I know they did the entire regional or the semi-final in Korean, except for sort of like the MC who was sort of flitting in between English, Korean.
Right.
But if they could do a feed like we did in 2019 or 2020, we did the CrossFit Games. They gave us a world feed.
Right.
So we actually had the feed that was going out to the world, and then we picked it up and we actually commentated. We actually did it from the radio station here on the Gold Coast. Pip and I
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
did the world feed for the CrossFit Games, which was cool. So if they could do that, send that out to YouTube, and you've got an English version of
Yeah.
the Far East Throwdown, that would be amazing. But getting them to that point is obviously the key. Were we there? Yes, we were.
Yeah.
But we need to sort of just improve things a little bit, and a little bit more funding wouldn't go astray. But where does that come from?
Yeah.
We've got to try and work out where that comes from. But improving those two, Africa and Asia, is definitely on the cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's sad to see all the people online commenting, and especially with the run. And don't get me wrong, I thought it was pretty funny too, watching the run. It was like an airport security. But yeah, I mean, they were doing the best they could, I guess.
Boz came out early and said to us in a video call, said every run is going to be different, so it's going to be hard to compare. Some arenas are going to be fully inside, some are inside-outside. We're fortunate that we're inside-outside, so we've got an outside run to do.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a straight line? Not really. Do we have some inclines and declines? Potentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like none of the runs can compare. And then I saw the Far East and went,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Put them under fatigue and then put them through a maze.
Yeah.
That's going to really channel something else that they wouldn't have to think about. If you have to run from here straight down there and come back, it's just like,
There's no cognitive.
and then you've just got to go, okay.
Am I going the right way?
I thought it was great because it added a different element.
Yeah.
And they had to stay enclosed in their arena in Incheon. Busan. For the whole arena. So it's like, just do what you got to do. But it's it was interesting.
It was definitely interesting
with the danger tape up, and it was just like, it was good.
Yeah. So what took you away from being an affiliate owner? We touched at the top that you have since stepped away. So what was the call there?
So a lot of people would know my journey health-wise over the last sort of 7-8 years. I got struck down with cancer
Right.
in 2016, and something that I didn't know I had for 2 years. So it sort of lay dormant.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And it was kidney cancer, and it was sort of asymptomatic. So I didn't know what was going on. I was just really tired all the time. And then I hurt my back in the surf, saving my boy who was drowning.
Oh, far out.
Because he was going out and just caught in a rip, so I had to go out and get him. And I brought him back in and really hurt my back. So I checked myself in hospital. They ended up, their MRI wasn't working, so they said, look, the best we can do is a CAT scan. So we'll just CAT scan and see what's going on. They came back and went, look, your back's ruined, like it's bad. I said, well, bad since 2002 in a rugby tackle.
Yeah.
I said, I know how bad it is, but it's probably worse now. And they said, you've got this little lesion that we've found. They'll come back in about 3 months. We'll give it an ultrasound and see what it is. Look, don't worry about it. It's nothing. And then I booked in for back surgery because my back was atrocious. And then they rang me the day before and said, we've just got your ultrasound back. Your stage 2 cancer, we need to get it out immediately because it's been there for nearly 3 years.
Oh, far out.
And we're just like, oh, what? So back surgery was cancelled. Like, it was the next morning I was going in, so they went, right, cancel that. So they went in and they cut me to bits and pulled that out, half the kidney out, and so that was a big. Had they found it sort of like 2-3 months later, it's all over. I'm not sitting here. So it's sort of that moment where you go, okay. So I went through that, went through a marriage divorce and all that sort of stuff, and then got to the point this year, and not many people know that a lot of people are going to know now, but I had a stroke earlier in the year.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So that was sort of early January, and it was like, oh, okay, I've got to start looking after number one. I'm going to just remove the biggest sort of, I wouldn't say stress in my life. Like owning a business is stressful.
Yeah.
Being like a lease and looking after people and all that sort of stuff. It just takes a lot of your time. And if any affiliate out there knows, it's a tough sort of gig. So you remove that out of your life, and I'm breathing easy. I'm training every day now. It's easy. Things are just so much easier now. The people who've bought the gym and taken over, one's a former client. So she's a former member years ago that they own a gym in Brisbane. So it was a really good fit. Nashi should be here soon.
Yeah.
But it was just taking something away that took so much time out of my life and my new wife Lexi's life, because she used to do all the social media and chase people up for payments and memberships and this, that, and the other. And it was draining us badly. And then coming in of a Sunday and spend 3 hours cleaning the gym. And it was just starting to sort of take up too much time. And sort of outsourcing all that stuff. You outsource it, people don't do the way you want to do it. So it's just like, might as well just do it myself. And so I just went, okay, we'd been speaking about it for like sort of mid last year when we were on our honeymoon. And we just went, what do you think? So it was like, we just got to the point, and then when that happened early in the year, it was just like, okay, universe is calling, we're done. So it was just a matter of getting that done, and here we are, and I'm training in here every day. And but still love the people who are here and still coach here. So it's like, I was here at 5 o'clock this morning coaching. So
Nice.
I was like, but so it's not too far ingrained, but I just needed to sort of remove that big chunk. And now obviously I can focus on Torian and game stuff if I get to call up for the games. And if it's like I've got 2 rugby games next week as well, which is, not ideal, but it's...
it sounds like you had a lot on your plate, and then you had the stroke, and I mean, that's...
massive, It's been, but it's been, since then, it's been stop. Just stop everything for 5 minutes and just,
breathe.
just calm your farm for a bit.
When they removed the cancer, that was the end of it? It's never come back?
No, so I had a bit of a scare 2 years ago. My blood test results, I have blood tests every year and have scans every year. And so I got that for 20 years, which is good. But there was sort of that, like that kidney cancer, it will come back. It's just a matter of when. So we're just waiting for that time. But if we catch it within the year's pretty good. It's still stage 1. It's no big deal. But 2 years ago the bloods were all over the shop, and he just goes, right, you're going to wait a month and you're going to come back and do it again. It was just like, it was a tough month. Going back to the stroke at the start of the year, I had a brain scan after everything that happened. And the report on the thing said, you've got brain cancer.
Oh, fuck.
And then it was like, come back in a month and have another brain scan. So I'm sitting there for the month of January and February kicking stones going, this isn't real good. Anyway, they get the second scan done. It's like, no, it's not there. I was just like, oh.
You had me sitting there for a month.
They said they just wanted to be sure back then. It was just like, I don't care. It's like, so it's the stuff that plays on your mind, and it's like, I didn't need or want the gym at that stage. It was like, okay, if these things are bad, then like it's got to go. So, it's been a journey the last sort of 4 or 5 months anyway.
Shit, I bet, man.
It's awesome you've taken, made your own health a priority now. I guess, I don't know how much thought you've given it, but from here, sort of like, where to from now? Have you got any plans looking at the next 5 years?
I've got heart surgery coming up. I've got a hole in my heart, which they found, which caused...
rookie.
Ticking all the boxes, aren't you?
So, that caused a stroke. So, so they actually said you've had a congenital hole in your heart your whole life. And it's the first time anything's popped up ever. And like I've been going hard at CrossFit for like 16 years and played rugby and whatever for 15 years. And it's like, oh, okay. So we're going to get that done at some stage throughout the year. It's not urgent, which is great. I got my letter. It says, this is not urgent. And I went, oh, wonderful. Cool.
Sweet
Carry on. As long as we're on blood thinners,
Forget about it.
we're all good. Yeah. So I'll just tick that off throughout the year and do that. Rugby is obviously massive. I commentate every weekend on Stan Sport. I've got the Oceania Championships next week. I couldn't do Friday night because I'm busy.
Yeah.
Pat Rafter or something, doing
on,
something. So you can do that. So I'm doing a lot of that stuff. New Zealand Nationals is obviously a massive event for me. Bella as well.
Yeah.
So we both going to be there for both events this year. So I'm doing turf games as well. I'm doing high rocks. Also teaching the Diploma of Sport to 3 schools on the Gold Coast.
Cool. Yeah.
So when I take some stuff out of my life, I just sort of backfill it with something else.
The schedule's not died down at all by the sounds.
At all. So yeah, Lexi, my wife, goes, oh, you need to start doing stuff during the day. Like you just all your stuff's on weekends and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that teaching thing fills a big void. So it's like 21 hours of work throughout the week, and then I come in here and coach in the morning and do some training, which is great because it's an important bit.
Oh, 100%. Where did obviously you've had a massive background in rugby, playing at a professional level. How did the door open to get into commentating from that? Is that all just stemmed from?
Well, that was Channel 9 over here. One of the major networks took over the rugby. They got the contract for rugby off Fox Sports back in the day, and they signed like a 3-year deal, I think it was. And then so all I did was ring the Rachel Brennan was her name from Rugby Australia. She was coordinating the whole thing. I said, "Oh, you're looking for commentators for for the Brisbane, Queensland comp?" She goes, "Yes." "Send me your CV." Vump.
Yeah.
Straight back. "Okay, good, you're in."
Crazy. That easy.
Never commentated a game of rugby in my life.
Yeah.
So that was like 3 years ago. And now it's from there it's gone to, hey, you're now going to be hosting and doing the sideline for like these big games. And I just did the rugby championship up at Sunny Coast for the Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. So like that was massive, the under 20s stuff.
Yeah.
Doing the Oceania stuff. I did the Rugby World Cup qualifier last year, Tonga and Hong Kong. So like they're getting all these opportunities that they're going, can you get in front of a camera and talk? I went, yes.
Yeah, I could probably do that, yeah.
So play-by-play behind is obviously grueling and tough, and the stuff in front of the camera is like nerving as hell because it's live TV. And funny story, rugby story. So I had to interview the South African under-20s guy, number 8, 2 weeks ago. Comes off, they had him on a line-out all game. I said, so your line-out's not going so well. How are you going to fix that in the second half? And he just looked at me. We'll see how we go.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him and went, great.
Fair enough.
Live
gonna
TV,
try and
live
find that
TV
clip.
is great. And the boss of Rugby Israel is over there, and he's just looking at me, just pissing himself laughing because he's just like the greatest non-response. We'll see how we go. Well, yes, we will. Yeah.
Sweet ass.
Don't give me an answer. I do my one anyway. So yeah.
Yeah.
But you get those little glitches, but it's enjoyable. I love doing that live broadcast stuff. It's good.
Do you have like a standout favourite, like an event or a game or something that you've
Torian Pro.
broadcast? The Torian Pro.
Pro.
Really?
Honestly, Torian Pro. Like I tell everyone when I go to the games every year, Torian Pro is the best event. I said we've got fire, like it's like we've got confetti cannons, like
Everyone loves the fire.
They are so jealous of our fire.
Yeah.
But we can only do it because it's an indoor-outdoor arena.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
open air, so you can't do it in an indoor arena because you can't
Yeah.
have fire. So we're very fortunate, but it's just the vibe. It's a shame that we haven't got the likes of Tia, Ellie,
Jamie.
Jamie, Cara, Emily, like doing individual this year because I think it just would have been an absolute rip snorter. But it's going to open the door for someone new to come through, obviously, and opportunities knocking. But it's just a great event. John and Mike, I've been doing Torian since inception.
Yeah.
I was back emceeing in the day, and then we did a hybrid, like a Facebook Live outside, MC inside with cameras. Like we did there, we tried everything back in the day, and then it moved. 2019, we went to Pat Rafter, and the guys that did the production back then are the guys I'm now working with for the stand stuff for rugby, who also do the Down Under Championship.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Yeah.
So it's all intertwined little thing that happens, and it's the events just got bigger and better every single year.
Yeah.
They've just done such a great job with it.
Oh, 100%, man.
On the extra spot this year too. Is that
Well, that was
Bit late?
that was a surprise. Very late. It's like 3 days before the Asia and Europe semi-final. Was
Yeah,
like, okay,
yeah.
you guys now got 4, and I went, oh, hey, what?
yeah?
It was like, okay, things are going to change.
But I mean, like a bit late, as in you don't have the likes of Tia or Ali. You know, they're not. So now the floor's wide open, especially in the female division for a lot of new first-time games athletes.
Big time.
Yeah.
Who you got? Male,
think-
female?
I think I want to see. I'm not too sure how the top 4 will go, but I want to see the likes of Danny Ford, New Zealander, making it
Oh,
top
I know
4.
Danny Ford. No, Danny Ford well.
She's weapon.
Firefighter.
Yeah, she's just weapon, man. She was one of the original guests on this podcast.
Yeah.
actually.
Oh,
yeah,
was she?
yeah, back in the day, she came to the house.
She's
even.
like the second guest.
Yeah,
She got lost trying to find his place.
yeah, that was quite funny.
So I'm 40 episodes down from Danny Ford.
Yeah,
I feel very fortunate.
but I think I don't know, man. I want to see Maddie Sturt, Gracie Walton, Danny Ford, and I don't know, just someone else. Van Ziel's probably another favourite. Julia Hannaford. It's a who's who. It's so stacked, man.
Yeah.
Julia's so excited.
Oh man.
I was
She's so good.
speaking to her
Yeah.
2 days ago, and she wants to bring some more to the floor than
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
already has with a cowboy hat. So she's
good.
She's so excited.
Yeah.
It's bloody wicked.
What about you, bro? You got a 4?
I think it's Grace's results this season have proven that she's probably going to get there, based upon the programming as well. I like the basic nature of the programming. Like I
Yeah.
said before, it's like bare bones. It's
CrossFit.
Yeah.
I was talking to Bella earlier because she's got to do some stuff on the sideline. I said, like, what equipment have we got? I said, oh, actually, it's nothing out of the ordinary that we can talk about. It's just like just go and do stuff,
Yeah.
which is great. So I think it's going to suit Maddie. I'm not sure how the snatch is going to go for her, but she's been working on her snatch so much that I think it's sort of going to be probably that minimalist factor for her to go through with the 6 events. So great, Maddie. Caitlin, I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
Like, I know she did a lot of training for Gladiators. I know she does very well in the open because the
Yeah.
open really suits her engine, and she's got a massive engine. I think someone like Daisy McDonald could really support.
Yeah.
She's like ex-gymnast, and we've got handstand walking. She's very good at handstand walking and rope
Yeah.
climbs. So it's sort of sitting there. We've got muscle ups as well. So
Yeah.
I think it could be. Don't be surprised to see Daisy in there somewhere. Honestly, it's going to just
It's
going to be a juggle. It's going to be massive.
I'll throw another name out there. New Zealander gymnast Ella Price. Keep an eye out for her because like she's come out of nowhere.
18 months she's been doing CrossFit.
Yeah, and
I
I
was
saw her at New Zealand Champs.
Pardon?
And
Yeah.
I did an interview with her there at New Zealand Champs, and she was sort of like, yeah, I'm keen to give this thing a crack, and now, man, look at her. Yeah, unreal.
Keen to give it a crack. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah.
I said that 10 years ago.
Yeah. I'm still saying it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think she'll do well, and I think there's a lot of young gymnasts in the field, and then you've got your old heads like Alethea Boone, who you can't discount. You've
ever.
been to
Yeah.
Commonwealth Games for weightlifting and gymnastics.
gymnastics,
It's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're going to do okay at this stuff, regardless of your age.
Yeah.
And she just moves so beautifully. It's going to be a massive can of worms for the
Yeah.
female division. I can't wait.
yeah. I mean,
Males, who we got?
oh,
Don't throw it to
you,
me.
you
I'm
can't,
casual.
you can't, you
Jay
can't
Ricky
really,
Bailey, you think?
You can't get Jay and Ricky. You can't touch them. I genuinely don't think you can touch them.
Is Jay going 3 for 3?
I think Jay's going 3 for 3. I want to back him only because he came on and Ricky.
Who?
didn't.
Who? Jay who?
Only because Jay's
You know
delivering your
Maddie's
glasses
partner,
to you
Maddie
tomorrow.
Sturt's partner. I forget his
Oh
last
yeah,
name.
Maddie Sturt's like part-time boyfriend.
Yeah.
He goes okay at fitness and stuff. It does. Yeah. Anyway, can't remember his name. Anyway.
Oh, so I'll go Jay first, Ricky second. Peter Ellis, how can you look away from him? He's just when we had him on, he was so dialed. The way he talks about CrossFit, I was scared through the camera.
I was down
He's
at
so intense.
I was down at Turf Games in Sydney, and he did Turf Games
Yeah,
down there, and he was just sitting there, and just waiting for the events to start and stuff, and he's just like,
yeah. It's just,
and it was
He's
like,
dialed.
I sort of backed away and went, "Hey, you okay?" Yeah, then he's just sort of like, "Oh." But
Yeah.
he's
He's
so
locked in, eh?
so focused, and he's so thick.
Yeah.
I slapped him on the back and went, like it's a big chunk of meat.
Yeah.
So he's like over the last couple of years, he's just slowly filling out, and it's just like, and he just wants it so bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. He's hungry for it. I mean, down under, he just, if he brings that kind of energy to Torian, he's going to be a fierce. Bailey Martin, obviously. Even Riley Martin, like, the thing with the Martin brothers is they're so good at what they're good at. Whereas Bailey has gone to, like, he's gotten good at what he was bad at. Whereas Riley's still trying to, he's still trying to get there. But
Sorry,
you can't discount Riley. Something like the snatch ladder, Riley can really do damage on.
I just love the competition between the two.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we were talking with Bailey, and it's like Riley would go out the heat prior, and Bailey's only mission is to beat Riley's score.
Bailey should be fortunate that he's Riley's brother. That's,
Yeah,
that's what Riley tells me anyway.
And then Ben Fowler, I'd love to see him qualify. He puts in so much work, especially because I don't know if many people know, if you go back to the episode we had with him on, he had a pretty major knee injury that held him back. So I'd love to see him out there, crush it, and get that spot to the games.
100%.
Yeah, man. Who have you got?
I think it's going to be to Jay, Ricky, Bailey again.
Yeah.
It's going to be potentially Pete Ellis.
Yeah.
I want to see what Zane Shellabere-Healy's.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's a bit of a sleeper. So I'm not, just not sure if it's just going to be Grace up in lights this year or not, or if he can actually focus on his stuff. Because I know how, like,
He's hungry for it, man. Yeah.
he's hungry for her, like, massively,
Yeah.
and he's been this massive support for her over the last couple of years, especially at Down Under, getting her to a point where she's like really competitive. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's sort of got enough left for him, if that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I think maybe. Or do we see a dark horse? Do we see Rob Forte go back?
Oh, how good.
Sean Woodland asked me yesterday, he goes, can Rob make it back? I said, yes, he can.
He could.
Yeah.
Like, he's that good at moving, and
Yeah.
the events like really
events
line
are
up
good,
for
yeah.
him. I said, there's every chance he's going to make it.
These are the kind of events that he did
Yes.
10 years ago, you know?
And
this
won.
Yeah, exactly, comfortably. He's, I just can't wait. I've said it so many times. Just can't wait to be there and watching it, man.
Yeah, teams?
Teams as well. Laura Clifton's team.
I was
That was
so-
Right.
I'll tell you, there's a New Zealand team, Kia Maya.
Oh, don't worry about Kia Miles.
Oh.
They've been talking to Bryce a lot over the last
Yeah.
couple of days. We've actually been talking rugby for the last couple of days.
Oh, because he was quite handy.
He was North
He
Shore,
real
yeah.
handy,
He was good.
He had an injury too. But we've got a little thing that we're trying to get going. You know Ice Baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bryce Baby. So if you could just drop that in the
Yeah.
commentary somewhere
Done.
when he's on.
Done.
Yeah. So he hates it, but we are
Does he
making it happen.
really? I'm going,
Oh.
okay, that's good.
We're going to try and get Vic to play it.
I'll get Bella to do a sideline interview or something
handy.
with him. I'll
Oh.
do a piece on Kia Maya, and she can go,
Bryce
baby. Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
we want to get Vic to just run it on their way out. That'd
Yeah.
be good.
Oh, that'd be good. But yeah, I mean, the two obvious ones, Down Under and Torian. But I don't know, insider knowledge, Khan's hurt his back.
Really?
This will be coming out after the Torian, so it's not like
Okay.
we're spilling anything. But from what I heard, yeah, Khan hurt his back last week and hasn't been very comfortable.
Okay.
So he's snatching today.
So Dean's on
Yeah.
standby.
Dean Flood's on standby.
The Dean Flood.
Yeah.
He
Again, another weapon.
weapon. Like, I remember him a couple of years back. We called it the Dean Flood because Floody used to go out and just annihilate an event, and then halfway through he just die in the arse.
Yeah.
So we called it the Dean Flood.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's the flu.
Oh, like it was funny to watch back in the day, but like he's a very handy replacement.
Yeah. Oh, shit, yeah. We trained with him this morning. It was an EMOM. The last minute was a rest minute. We got to round 3 and he goes, we could probably do away with this rest. I was like, mate, no one invited you.
Go away now. I'm not honestly. I'm not. I wasn't 100% sold on the Raw Iron team. I'm just not. I don't know. There's something that's irking me about the team. Like even not even knowing about Khan's thing.
Yeah.
I just think there's better, well-rounded teams.
Yeah.
Like you've got the experience with James Carr and Khan, obviously. But I just think it's like the other side. I cannot go past the other side team as coming out as number one. Like
So
they're going
good,
to be awesome.
Yeah.
But Kia Maya, like I think they are going to be a sleeper.
They work so well together, man. Just going up to their gym, watching them on socials, like.
I mean, no one else has seen, but us three have definitely seen what they did at Nationals last year.
Great.
Tore it apart. Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's another team out of Hamilton. Just give a quick shout out to CrossFit Taurus. I don't know if you know Leisha Martin.
Leisha Martin.
Obviously, you know Leisha Martin. Yeah.
So I asked Leash, I said, can you send me some info on
Yeah.
the team? So
Yeah.
she sent me stuff on her and Kirsten. I went, cool, thank you. I said, the boys, they don't want to give any information to you that you could use. But here it is.
Oh, we can give you Travis. Yes. Absolute legend. The most humble, quiet guy you ever would hate to be on camera. Shifts weight. Like, he can lift some weight.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Regan.
Yeah, Regan just apparently just goes, do not give him anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, so she goes, here it is. So I was like, thank you.
Perfect.
Regan's is the man.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's such a good team. And just listening to how they've had to train, because they've all got young kids. And like they've had so many team trainings where like one of them just couldn't make it. And so the fact that they're out there throwing down is going to be massive for them. And I just can't wait to see them.
I'm just going to give Kirst a quick shout because otherwise she's going to miss out on 3 episodes.
Yeah. Shout out to Kirst as well. Yeah. But I'm just excited for this weekend. And obviously it will be last weekend that you're hearing this, but just can't wait, man.
Oh, it's going to be a long 3 days. Saturday's a big day broadcasting, 9 a.m. till 8 p.m.
Yeah.
We're going to be pretty busted by the end of it.
Yeah.
But Sean said to me yesterday, he goes, why do you guys down there broadcast every minute of regionals/semi-finals? I said, well, we had people from Russia coming over when we had the Asian division with us. I said, everyone's got to have their time in the sun. And if someone's family members watching or grandmother's watching, they want to know that someone cares about who they are. And it might be just a quick 5-10 second up, but it means something to somebody.
Yeah. Even getting the teens and the adaptive, even if it's one workout, that's so cool. I had a teenager there 2 years ago, 2020 was it? 21, sorry.
3 years ago.
Stella Quigley. And for her, it was massive, 16, in the middle of Pat Rafter, doing Isabel, and then going back onto YouTube and hearing you commentate, and she gets screen time, and you've even said her name, and I'm like, for her, that's massive, man. So cool.
When we got the heat list about 10 seconds before we went live.
Oh, really?
And it was actually reversed.
Oh, shit.
So lane 1 was lane 10.
10, yeah.
And 10 was 1. So it was like, we were sitting just going, we didn't know till after we'd done it.
Yeah.
So we just got handed was a bit of paper and said, here it is, off we go.
Yeah.
So we went, okay, we'll just do our best.
I think Stella was lane 1.
Yeah, well, you definitely got her name right.
Okay, well, that's
So
great.
there you go. I remember watching it back. Otherwise, yeah.
Boom, we got something right.
Yeah. But I think that's just those little differences that you and the team at Torian do is just, that's so cool.
Just having that, I've had an all-Australian team until this year. We brought Bella on as a sideline. She's obviously been MC for the last couple of years. So we've stolen her now and we're bringing her into that. But she's half Australian anyway and loves coming out here. But she's just got that rapport as we do with, I know a lot of people like CrossFit World.
I can imagine,
And like some of the teams, I saw Benny Garrard and Alessio, Amy down at Turf the other day. And it was just like... Cherie as well. Those 4, don't discount those guys in a team.
Yeah.
Alessio is going to do a lot of those rope climbs, and when you're that tall, it's going to be easy for you. But just those old school people. Talking to Alethea the other day, and it's a shame Justine Beath couldn't get there. But it's just I think it's a good throwback to old school CrossFit when you've got so many people from 2014 competing, and feels. Got this new blood coming, but you've got this sort of
just remember
that's it. Just remember. Yeah, that's it. Hey, don't forget us. We're still here.
That's the stuff I fucking watched from the beginning. I started 2013, so I just all these names just make me I'm like
froth.
Let's go.
You're lighting his fire.
I'm
just over here like.
But I said to Sean yesterday, it's like you've got all these youngsters like 18 to 22. Then we've missed like a decade, they're not there, and then we've got all these old people. It's really weird.
But the old heads are still throwing down. It's crazy.
No, it's good to see.
But we will aim to wrap up here. We're approaching the hour, but as Matt was explaining before, but I'm going to pretend that he wasn't. We wrap these things up. Our previous guest, Leisha Martin, has left you a question, and she would like to know If you could go back and change one thing during either your ownership of the gym or in your CrossFit career, what would you change?
Only one thing. That's going to be a tough thing.
Yeah.
CrossFit career, I'll leave the gym thing alone because I could say 1,000 different things, and
Yeah.
I'd like to change the fact that I care so much, but I do care a bucket load, so I wouldn't change that for the world.
Nice.
For like competing personally, getting to the 2010 individual regionals and then 2012 team, I should have been fitter, stronger. I should have trained more. I should have stretched and done mobility my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't warm up. I just start. It's just something that I just do. So if I could change anything, it would be probably look after my joints and body a little bit better, and probably would have stopped the 14 surgeries I've had.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably going to break. He's not going to quite change that just yet because he said he's working out at 15:15 and it's
Yeah.
eight past.
Oh, is it? Is Lobby here yet? No, Lobby's not even here yet. So yeah, I'm good.
Anyway, Jeremy, rookie, listen, thank you so much for your time. I know it's a busy week coming up, so even just an hour of your time is
Yeah, I know. I
is so
appreciate it,
good.
boys. Thanks for coming in and
Yeah.
humbling me a lot.
We're
Anyway,
going to do some
we'll,
massive work this weekend.
Yeah. Can't wait to see you or hear you out there.
Oh,
and see
tidbit
out
for
there.
you.
Yeah, go
I
on.
played a season with Graham at Carlton in
With
Auckland.
who at Carlton?
Graham at Carlton back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
Who was that for?
you're the back in the day guy.
Yeah. Go do some research.
He's talking rugby, man.
So I played a season in Auckland.
Who was that for?
It was a combined team, Graham at Carlton. They were combined.
Oh, I thought you were telling... Yeah, Auckland Grammar. Yeah, listen, I know.
Yeah, he knows now. He knows
Thing
now.
is, it's the
Oh, now
language
he knows.
barrier.
Yeah,
now
I
he knows.
can't- He talks so quickly in this Aussie
I
accent.
know.
Yes, no, I'm with, I thought you were saying
sorry,
someone's name.
sorry, bro.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheer,
bro.
It's all right, mate. It's all right.
Played a season at Grammar Carlton.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Well,
That was tough.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, big
that
islanders
was,
up there, man. It's tough code up there. I've got a mate, Matthew Towers. I'll shout him out.
Matty
He is,
T.
like, never quite made it. Like, I reckon he could have, and he's probably sitting there like, nah, I couldn't have. But he could have. But he's played some high-level code, and, like, yeah. He always comes back from the Auckland games thinking, nah, fuck, they're bred different up there, man.
They just are. They're
Yeah.
just like from going from here and playing over there was just like,
Yeah.
ooh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
No wonder the All Blacks do so well.
Anyway, bro, we'll leave it there. Thank you for your time. And
Easy.
Before we do, anyone
yeah.
you want to give a quick shout out?
Shout out to. Oh, in what regard? What are we
Just a
talking about?
shout.
Anything. Family?
Oh yeah,
Friends?
got to shout
Wife?
out the wife. Yeah,
That's always a good one.
like she's been through the ringer with me
Yeah.
over the last couple of years, so
Yeah.
she deserves a big pat on the back. So,
There you go.
and she puts up with me going away all the time and talking shit and pretend I'm prepping at the kitchen table when I should be doing chores around the house and stuff. Yeah.
I'm working.
I'm busy,
I'm
mate.
working here.
She goes, I don't care, it's Torian week. You've got to go and put the bin out. It's like, no, I've got to do all this prep. So she goes, she said to me a couple of days ago, haven't you finished that yet? I was going, are you kidding? Not even halfway through yet.
We're humanizing people here. Even
That's it, that's
even
right.
Rookie's still got to put the bin out.
Even rookie's got to put the bin out.
I know.
Easy, mate. Hey, appreciate it. And yeah, all the best for the weekend.
Beautiful. Thanks, boys.
Easy. Peace.